Harper Lee also shows injustice with Boo Radley.
Yeah. Boo Radley, he was a really misunderstood guy. He lived in the middle of town, and his house never really came out, so a lot of the townspeople didn't really know much about him, and this caused them to make up stories. And
Yeah, the kids, Scout and Jem, they were intrigued by this house and the mystery that surrounds it. So during the summers they would go and kind of investigate. He started leaving little trinkets out, and they were actually scared of him and scared of the house. So they would take part in making up stories, and he was a really misunderstood kind of guy, and like all this stuff.
well,
Where
yeah, no, I think too, Boo had a perfect opportunity to be a bad person, an upset person, rude to everyone, but he was always kind. He was a good person, and he cared for the kids. Even though the kids were scared and made up stories about him, he was still always continuously a good person.
and that kind of connects back to Tom, where they had every right to be hateful of the town, be hateful of how they were treated and all the injustice that they faced because of what people thought about them. It's kind of along the same lines, although not as severe, I would say, in Boo Radley's case, because he didn't end up being killed.
Right.
But it kind of follows along the same pattern. And when Mr. Ewell was attacking them, and Boo Radley ended up saving them and ended up killing Bob Ewell because Bob was in a drunken rage and attacked the kids. He ended up being the only reason that they were alive, even though they were scared and terrified of him and had all of these stories made up about him and all the things that they did to him. Really, he still ended up saving their life.
Yeah, and he wasn't sent to trial for what he did, because everyone saw this as like a good action for him to do, because they saw Mr. Ewell as a threat to the kids, and ultimately everyone started looking at him differently because he saved the kids in a sense.
Yeah.
Perfect.